With Thanksgiving approaching, I would head back to Alabama to spend time with friends and family. I would also make time for trains, and on my way south, I would stop in Manchester, Georgia, a well-known CSX hotspot. CSX M601 would be blocking the view from the Railfan gazebo, so I would make use of the bridge for CSX X602, which is the counterpart train to M601. The reason this 602 was using an X instead of an M in this ID is because this train was running outside of its normal time slot due to a maintenance of way curfew somewhere on CSX trackage. As X602 continued into the yard, CSX I-126 would pull up to the signals at 5th Avenue and depart Manchester once X602 cleared the block. CSX M847 would later roll into Manchester with SD70AC rebuild CSXT 4533, trailing CW44AC rebuild CSXT 7226. This would normally be an M647, but the 8 in the ID was another result of the curfew. After M847 cleared 5th Street, CSX EO40 would pull up to 5th Street to wait for more traffic to come off of CSX's Lineville sub. Geometry car CSXT W002 was also sitting in the yard. Five minutes later, CSX G405 would arrive in Manchester with a Tier 4 GEVO and SD70 AC rebuild CSXT 4547 second. Once G405 cleared 5th Street, M601 would depart Manchester, but the yard would still be very congested. With no word on any other trains heading towards Manchester, I would continue my journey home. I would wake up early the next morning and drive down to Mobile, Alabama to visit friends and catch some trains in the process. I would be joined by several of my friends that morning on CSX's NO&M subdivision, where we would get into position just in time for our first train of the day. CSX M526 would take the siding at Brookley and would roll by our cameras with a YN2 AC44 on the point. There would be pipe loads on this train as well. CSX M527 would then come south with another YN2 AC44 leading 3 other CSX engines. CSX M601 would not be far behind CSX M527. This was the same M601 that was in Manchester from the day before. Our original plan was to chase trains on my favorite railroad in the Mobile area, Canadian National's Beaumont subdivision. We heard CN A48971 leaving Mobile while we were waiting on the CSX trains, but we were able to catch up to it in Merrill, Mississippi. CN A489 would not disappoint with a pair of consecutively numbered 100th anniversary ET44ACs leading the northbound mixed freight. We would later catch up to A489 at a crossing just south of Canadian National's Bell Yard in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. While waiting on A489 to finish their work in Bell Yard, Amtrak 20 would arrive in Hattiesburg on Norfolk Southern's NO&M district. They would cross the CN Diamond in Hattiesburg right before making their station stop.
Amtrak 20 clear CN out.
After Amtrak 20 departed Hattiesburg, CN A489 would come north. A489 picked up GP 38-2 IC 9619 in Bell Yard, and the engine would be smoking as it passed our location. Having missed CN A48871 coming into Hattiesburg, we would catch up to it in Lucedale, Mississippi. A488 would have a pair of SD70M-2s leading the southbound mixed freight towards Mobile, Alabama. While taking a break for gas and food, we would catch Mississippi Export Train 51 heading north to Lucedale. As of this video, MSC had recently turned 100 years old, which is an impressive feat for a short line railroad in this day and age. Having received earlier information that CSX L685 had a rare YN2-9 for power, we decided to go looking for it after we got CN A488 and MSC 51. L685 is the former CSX M724 local that originates in Mobile, Alabama, services industries in Theodore, Alabama, and returns to Mobile when finished with work. We would find the YN2-9 CSXT 9015 tied down in Theodore. This would be our last train of the day, so we would get dinner and part ways. I would be trackside again the next afternoon. CSX would be running a couple of trains, so I would wait on them at Aladox on CSX's M&M subdivision. Combined coal train CSX E244 would come north with 3 GEVOs up front and another GEVO in the middle of the train. On the other side of the Chickasaw drawbridge would be CSX L674, which was previously CSX M705. L674 would have 2 YN2 AC44s sandwiching an SD70 AC rebuild. On my way back home, I would hear the NS3B dispatcher talking to NS182 in Calvert, Alabama. I was pretty tired from the traveling I did that weekend, but upon hearing that BNSF 4118 would be leading 182 north, I decided to wait on it. My decision would be a good one, as 182 would come north through Thomasville with NS and UP EMDs trailing BNSF 4118. This is where part 1 of my Thanksgiving travels ends, so stay tuned for part 2 next week. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to this channel, and hit the notification bell for more content like this. Thank you for watching. Till next time.